Imagine waking up tomorrow. You open your eyes, not to the familiar sounds of morning traffic or your neighbor's dog, but to an unnerving, profound silence. There are no footsteps on the pavement outside, no distant sirens, no hum of human activity. Just absence. Absolute and unsettling. In this instant, every single human being on Earth has vanished. No warning, no explanation, no chaos. Just gone. What happens next? In the first few hours, the world we built begins to unravel. High above the clouds, planes that were once marvels of engineering become pilotless projectiles. They continue on autopilot for a while, ghosts in the sky before their fuel runs out. One by one, they spiral down, plunging into oceans and remote landscapes, their descents unseen by any human eye. On the ground, the scene is just as eerie. A driverless car might gently roll to a stop, its sensors finally giving up, while another, its driver having vanished mid-turn, veers off the road and collides with a storefront, its engine humming a lonely mechanical dirge. The world's automated systems, our tireless servants, carry on. Streetlights dutifully cycle from red to green, blinking for an audience that will never return. Automated factory arms halt mid-motion, frozen in time. The digital pulse of our civilization continues, for now, oblivious to the fact that its creators are gone. As the first day turns into the first week, a new world order begins to emerge, one not governed by laws or leaders, but by instinct. The boundaries we so carefully constructed start to dissolve. At your local zoo, the automated feeding systems eventually fail. Cages that were once homes become prisons of hunger. The more resourceful animals break free. A lion might stalk the manicured lawns of a suburban park, while monkeys swing from traffic lights, chattering into the void. The animals we domesticated are now utterly lost. Flocks of sheep wander onto silent highways, and herds of dairy cows, their udders aching, break through fences in search of relief and pasture. In the wild, predators reclaim their ancestral lands. Wolves, once pushed to the fringes of our world, venture into abandoned city centers, their howls echoing between skyscrapers, announcing the rise of new kingdoms. Our pets face a harsh reality. While some resourceful cats and dogs will adapt, rediscovering their feral instincts, many, bred for companionship, will struggle to survive in a world that no longer offers a warm lap or a bowl of food. Weeks turn into a month. The lights begin to go out. Power grids, complex networks that require constant human maintenance, start to fail. Hydroelectric dams might run for a while, but coal and gas plants will shut down automatically or run out of fuel. One by one, cities plunge into darkness. A cascading failure ripples across continents until the only light at night comes from the moon, the stars, and the occasional massive fire sparked by a lightning strike in a dry, untended landscape. Above us, our silent sentinels, thousands of satellites, continue their lonely orbits. But with no one to receive their signals, they become blind eyes circling a world that is no longer looking back. They are digital fossils, broadcasting weather reports and GPS data to a deaf planet. Without maintenance, their orbits will slowly decay, and over decades and centuries, they too will fall, burning up as shooting stars in a sky no one is wishing upon. 6 months have passed. Nature, once held back by concrete and steel, begins its relentless counterattack. It is a quiet, patient invasion. A single seed, carried by the wind, finds purchase in a crack in the pavement. Soon, it's a weed, then a bush. In our backyards, meticulously manicured lawns become wild meadows. Invasive species we once fought to control now run rampant. Kudzu in the American South drapes itself over entire buildings, swallowing them in a blanket of green. In cities, the assault is even more dramatic. Vines crawl up the sides of corporate towers, their tendrils prying into microscopic fissures. Tree roots, powerful and persistent, begin to shatter sidewalks and undermine foundations. With no one to clear the drains, water pools everywhere. It seeps into basements, weakens structures, and accelerates decay. Winter comes, and the freeze-thaw cycle becomes our architecture's greatest enemy. Water expands as it freezes, cracking concrete and stone like bones. creating more openings for nature to exploit. A century goes by. The world is unrecognizable. The symbols of our power and ingenuity have become monuments to our absence. The magnificent bridges that spanned vast rivers and bays, like the Golden Gate or the Brooklyn Bridge, have had their steel cables corrode for 100 years. Weakened by rust and the relentless forces of nature, they begin to collapse under their own forgotten weight, their mighty spans crashing into the waters below. Our cities are transforming into urban forests. Trees now grow on the rooftops of skyscrapers, their roots digging deep into the structure. The glass facades that once reflected our ambition have long since shattered, exposing the rusted steel skeletons beneath. These skeletal towers stand for a time like colossal, modern ruins, before they too begin to crumble and fall. The world's nuclear power plants, a source of immense anxiety, have mostly proven resilient. Their automated safety systems would have likely shut them down safely in the initial days. However, the spent fuel pools, which require active cooling, would have boiled over, releasing radioactive material into the immediate vicinity. These isolated zones of high radiation would become no-go areas for most life for thousands of years, toxic scars on an otherwise healing planet. 1,000 years have now passed since our departure. What is left of humanity? The answer is very little. The forests have returned. They reign supreme where cities like New York, Tokyo, and London once stood. All but the most massive stone structures have been ground down to rubble, buried beneath soil and vegetation. Our books, our art, our films, the entire repository of human knowledge and culture has dissolved. Libraries have rotted away, their paper pages turning into a pulpy, organic mush. The digital records stored on hard drives and servers degraded into uselessness centuries ago. Our languages, our histories, our inventions, our songs, all have been swallowed by time, leaving no echo. The Earth's coastlines, which we so arrogantly tried to shape with seawalls and barriers, have been redrawn by the patient, powerful waves of the ocean. The planet has healed itself with a speed and efficiency that surpasses any miracle we ever invented. The scars of our industrialization are fading, the atmosphere is cleaner, and biodiversity is flourishing in ways it hadn't for millennia. In this distant future, humanity has become a rumor, a geological anomaly. Perhaps a future intelligent species, digging into the Earth's crust, will find a strange thin layer in the rock, a stratum filled with peculiar plastics, fossilized concrete, and refined metals. They might call it the Anthropocene layer and puzzle over the bizarre, short-lived civilization that created it. But they will find no great monuments proclaiming our glory. They will not know our names, our flags, our wars, our gods, our pride, or our regrets. We will simply be a geological curiosity, a thin layer of dust buried beneath their world. And this brings us to a profound and perhaps humbling paradox. We lived as if we owned this planet. We acted as its masters, bending it to our will, convinced of our own permanence and importance. But maybe we were only ever temporary guests. Life, it turns out, does not end when we do. Life simply continues. In fact, it might even be stronger, more vibrant, and more diverse without us. So it forces us to ask a fundamental question. As we look at the world around us today, the one we are still a part of, who truly belongs here? Is it us, the species that tries to control everything? Or is it the enduring, resilient force of nature that was here long before us and will be here long after we are gone? The world without us is not an empty world. It's just a world without us. And that's something worth thinking about. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through time. If you found this thought-provoking, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the biggest what-if questions. I'll see you in the next one.